One Piece Chapter 1143 is here. We got more information on the Holy Knights. We got more information on what the how they're executing their plan. We got more information on Loki and Hadrudin. I continue to be a little bit baffled on exactly what kind of character Loki is going to be, but I love that. Okay, we'll just get into it. So right away, we're back with the kids. They're walking off, they're sleepwalking, and the arrow is guiding them. And now we understand how, I think it was Professor Wolf, got injured before. Now, I thought it was the nightmares previous. I thought that the nightmares were, I mean, they are physical. They have like tangibility, but I thought that they were actually attacking the teachers, and that's how he got injured. But it's actually these thorns. They were told, don't touch the kids, which, to be fair to Saul, I thought that they were told, don't touch the kids because you might wake them up or because you might fall asleep too yourself. To me, these children that are being abducted, that's in the most literal sense, that's what's happening. They're being abducted in a strange sort of way. So for me, if I think, okay, I'm not supposed to touch the kids because they're asleep, but they're being abducted, my response too is going to be, okay, I don't care. I'm gonna try to help the kids not be abducted. So I'm fine with Saul not listening to orders and getting spiked, because we can't see the thorns. We don't know what's going to happen, but now we actually see the thorns wrapped around the kids. I was wrong. I thought Summer's ability was the nightmares. I thought Killingham was putting them to sleep, and Summer's was invoking their nightmares. But actually, that was all Killingham, and such cool mechanics behind all this, by the way. And it's Summer's that's wrapping the thorns around the children to keep people from being able to stop the abduction. Pretty clever, honestly. We have the snail phones being used to call for help, but everybody's drunk, so it's not going swimmingly. And we are finding out that the fire is actually the kids are en route to the fire, the way that they've been directed. So all of this chaos is happening all at once, and it looks like it's all going to collide or a lot of it is going to collide in the same space. Now, we still do have proof that the nightmares are physical, even though they were not the ones that attacked the professor that was all bloody. We have the one that was in the thumbnail of this video smacking the firefighters out of the air, which was such a cool panel, him rising up from the trees and then just smacking them down with no effort whatsoever. I like how the nightmares are not just scary, but they're actually powerful too. We have that element to them, but also we learn that they're powerful, they're large, they're able to make physical damage, or at least to cause some sort of physical reaction to what they interact with. But the indication here seems to be that they are without substance, because I love the way Oda showed the mechanics of this with him saying, I need more salt. And then as soon as Summers thinks of salt, Killingham puts him to sleep, grabs the salt from the dream cloud, and then wakes him up, and now he has salt. And he can taste it. It interacts with the food like normal. All of their food, they're able to eat. They're able to just set up and have a nice meal while they're waiting for the children to sleepwalk to them. But it's said that there's no calories and it gives you no energy. So essentially, this is food that has all the tangibility of real food, but none of the substance. So I feel like there's something to that, especially because this is a series of dreams. This is a series where what you dream of is, it interacts with how the devil fruits are made, and it interacts. People's dreams is one of the core elements of this entire story, of the premise of the story, and the thing that Luffy wants to protect the most. So people's dreams are incredibly important. And so now our main antagonists that have been introduced into this particular arc are able to interact with dreams. Like, for instance, children are given the educational prompt of, draw your biggest fears, and they do, and then they're put to sleep in that very moment. Excellent timing. And then their biggest fears come to life, right? So we have this interaction with dreams, but the way it's being interacted with here is as nightmares. And it's not that Killingham creates nightmares, it's that he creates whatever you were thinking about when you were put to sleep. And it just kind of worked out that it was nightmares for the children. I don't know. It does seem like quite the convenience, so I am sort of leaning towards this particular giantess, that teacher, I don't remember her name, that gave the kids the prompt to, hey, write about your nightmares. Go ahead, draw them. Talk about them. Let's do nightmares right now, right in this moment. Oh, they're all asleep. Oh, the nightmares are here. I don't know. I feel like she's gonna betray us. I feel like she's already in cahoots with them. We'll have to see. But regardless, the way the dreams that we're interacting with right now, the way that it has been presented in the story is nightmares. But it could go from the sense of, you know, your greatest dream, and then killing him can produce nightmares if he times it just right, or if he sets it up just right. Or it could go the route of like your lifelong dream versus your immediate dream. Oda could go in a couple different directions with how if he chose to make this a theme, if he was leaning on this to play it out. But regardless, I think the fact that what Killing Him is doing is something that is physical in every immediate sense, but without substance. I feel like Oda can do a lot with that, and I also think that that's going to expose to us, or could potentially expose to us, what the weakness of Killing Him's apparitions are. Whatever the weakness to these creatures that have now been unleashed into the world, whatever the weaknesses they are, I imagine it's tied to this particular clue that we got with the food. I also just want to take a second to say, I love Summers. He's my favorite. I know last time I said Killingham was my favorite because he has such a great design and a great name, and he's a narcoleptic, and I just think it's funny how he just randomly falls asleep. But it's gonna be Summers now, because the man's unhinged. Like, this little speech he gives here, every love has its thorns. Love is the passion to reach out and squeeze someone tight, even as you see the thorns up close. The best part of this game is when it's parents and children. Parents hugging their kids tight, thorns and all, and then the kids scream and wail. And when they see their worst nightmare, mommy and daddy dying in agony, there's real emotion in Killing. The way the way he describes love, what he thinks of as love, there was a line before this as well. Oh no, it was right after. He says, death by love. Isn't that just so exciting? To him, there's a thrill in manipulating love, in seeing a love that knows no bounds, like what we saw in Saul, that it's, I would do anything to protect you. I would do anything to care for you. Even if there's thorns there, I would harm myself to protect you. And to him, that's thrilling, because he wants to put the thorns there to cause the pain, because death by love is the most exciting thing to him. I love him. Also, this panel here where he's saying, we basically already won. It's too easy. This is a baby game for babies. And like the face he's making, the way he's just like shouting this dialogue into the world. It's like, I really feel like I get him. Also, I think it's absolutely crazy that when they realize that the children are walking into the fire and are potentially going to burn to death in their sleep, the response is, don't worry. If they die, we can send more. Anyway, next we get to Loki and his brother Hadrudin. So here we have Loki. Okay, so I love this about Loki. We talked about this last time about how Loki's standing up, he's getting ready to fight. You know, we're about to see his strength. It's incredible that he's this badly injured, bleeding out nearly, and he is captured in the Sea Prism Stones, which should severely weaken him, and yet he stands and he fights. So the options are you fall down immediately, which I didn't think was really gonna happen, or we're about to watch an incredible fight that's going to show exactly how strong Loki is. And he fell down. I love it so much because I still think it shows the strength and it shows some of the personality too of Loki. Even though it's not the direction that I thought this was going to go in, still though, he stands up and he's saying, I'm gonna kill more people. I'm gonna take more lives if you don't free me. You know, he's threatening, he's saying all these horrible things. He's leaning in to the reputation that has been given to him by the people. And the moment he realizes that Luffy is still going to fight, that Luffy is still going to try to stop him, he says, I've lost this one. And immediately, like, he's still smiling, he's still grinning as he realizes, they're still gonna fight me. They're not gonna just let me go. And then he takes just a what appears to be not the hardest punch in the whole wide world and just collapses down. He knows he can't take it. He knows he can't fight. He knows he can't actually stand his ground at all. It's nothing but a bluff. and he falls. But you know, I think it shows a lot of his it shows a lot about his character, and it makes me like him even more, that even when he's on death's door, even though when he has almost no strength in him whatsoever, he'll use the last of his strength to puff himself up to look bigger than he is, in the hopes, like, one last bid, let me go or else. And then once he realizes it's not gonna work out, he's still smiling as he goes down. Like, I don't know, I really like his character a lot. So so Luffy's kind of bidding for him, saying, okay, at least just don't kill him, let him heal up, we'll decide what to do next. Gerd, I'm pretty sure was her name. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Gerd says that it's probably gonna take him months to heal up because his injuries are so bad. They can't take him back to the village. They can't leave him here to heal because he's not gonna heal here. It's too difficult of an environment. They can't take him back to the Sun World because he'll be killed there. So they need to find a place for him. My guess is, I think it might be Rhodo's castle, because Rhodo's castle is it's right there outside of the underworld, but it's also isolated enough, and it seems like he just kind of does what he wants and nobody really checks in on him or cares. So I feel like that's going to be a good place for him to go to if they decide to hide him away somewhere. But you know, Hadrudin has to figure out what he wants to do, and we get this very interesting flashback showing that King Harold did love both of his sons, that he didn't seem to view Hadrudin as less of a son, and he wanted to raise them as brothers, but that Loki seems to have opposed this, saying, you're just a bastard, you're not my father's legitimate son. Your mother had filthy blood in her veins. So we're seeing a snippet of Loki's, possibly one of Loki's worst moments. So the question is, was their entire childhood like this? Did they ever have any good times as well? Are we only seeing the worst of it? The baggage that Hadrudin still carries, but maybe not the full picture of what their relationship was? Or was this how Loki was the entire time? Was he truly just awful to his brother nonstop through their entire lives? The reason I wonder if this is just a snippet of the baggage and not necessarily an encompassing picture is because of what Loki says next. Hadrudin says, he insulted my mother and killed my father. And Loki says, go on, do it, you little berserker. Or perhaps, instead of indulging in your petty personal drama, take a look at the woods around us. They all say I went and killed Dad with pure murder in my heart. But you don't believe that, do you? Why take a look at the woods around us? What does the woods have to do with if he killed Dad with murder or not? What is it that Hadrudin should be seeing right now that should give some sort of doubt to the idea that Loki killed his dad for justified reasons, or even wasn't the one that did it? I would assume for justified reasons, but we'll see. It's also very interesting that even as young children, Loki still had his eyes bandaged. So I am curious if that's some sort of injury, if that's the way he was born, but certainly he seems to be able to, I mean, we've already seen him be able to sense people and identify people without needing to see them. His observation hockey seems to be pretty heightened already, and the fact that he's been bandaged since a child, he's had his eyes covered since a child, would explain why that may be. So I'm also curious about why that is and what his story is behind the eye bandages. Loki is still a character that I really don't have pinned down. Obviously for a long time I've been saying that I think that the reason he turned on his dad was because his dad was doing something that that caused him to feel that he had to free Elbaf from his dad. I could be wrong, but that's, I don't, everyone says Loki is evil, but they've been saying it a whole lot. You know, like they've been saying it real hard, and we haven't seen any of it yet, other than, you know, starting a fire in Elbaf, and we know that that's Elbaf's greatest weakness, and then he's like, I'm gonna do more, but, you know, he just wanted to get free. Anyway, to me, he seems more morally gray, but I don't know. Like, I don't feel like I have him pinned down. Every move he makes is intriguing to me, and most moves are quite surprising to me. Hello? I don't remember what I was saying. Anyway, I think Loki's a fascinating character. I don't feel like I've pinned him down just yet. I don't know exactly what to expect from him. Actually, I don't know what to expect from him at all. I do think that there's more to him than what everyone is explicitly stating. I think that there's a lot more to him than that. What's on the surface is not it. But what is it? I don't know. But that makes him such a fascinating character. Like, I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the fact that I haven't pinned him down yet, that I can't figure him out because he's such an interesting character. Anyway, great chapter. Cannot wait for next week's chapter. Please do chat with me more in the comments. Let me know what you saw that I didn't see, that you want to talk about, that I didn't talk about. Correct me on the things that you think I got wrong. I'll see you again soon. Bye.